Hello, everybody. You're watching another episode of FunSmiths International. Today, we're counting down our top 12 most anticipated movies for the year, or at least mine. By the time you see this video, some of these movies will have already come out because, as I mentioned before, we're uploading a whole bunch at once because we're kind of making a whole bunch, uh, uh, over a certain period of time because we got so behind on this channel. We're trying to gradually start it back up again. So obviously some movies we've seen already. These are the ones that are coming out at the time that we're making this though, and we are doing this in two parts. And you may ask why? Well, nostalgia critic likes to go one step beyond at 11. We like to sometimes go two steps beyond. To take it to another level and do 12. So okay, so I think with that said, I'll just jump right in. Okay, number 12 we have Toy Story 4. Okay, so I'll start by saying that yes, this was an unnecessary sequel. With that said, I am still very intrigued to see it. It looks good. All of the trailers I've seen look good. There are some interesting new characters that they've added, it looks like. On top of that, everybody else, though, is back as well, including Don Rickles, even though he, of course, passed away, but they used old sound bites to make him still present as Potato Head in the movie as a way of honoring and respecting his legacy. I don't know if they did the same thing for the toy soldier because his voice actor passed away, I think, too, more recently. So I don't know about him. I forget the name of the guy that voiced him actually. The guy that voiced Slinky Dog in the first two passed away, and they replaced him in the third one with Blake Clark, who I do believe is back in this one as the voice of Slinky Dog. I think about everybody is back in this one. And this movie really only has to be almost half as good as the other ones. And if it is, then I'm satisfied because I mean they do have a lot on their shoulder. Excuse me. So on their shoulders. So no. Okay, I don't know what's on today. Okay, on their plate. They have a lot on their plate. Um, and a lot of big shoes to fill. I don't know what my favorite Toy Story movie was because I liked them all three a lot. I really liked Toy Story 2 a lot, especially this. I'm sorry, the doctor barked. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me continue. Especially the scene where they're parodying Star Wars. Of course, the scene where Darth Vader reveals to Luke that he's his father. So they do that with Buzz, essentially playing the role of Luke, and Zurg playing the role of Darth Vader, and that was just hilarious. And they actually quote the line right, and I like that they actually get the quote right because a lot of people misquote that. And that scene is probably just as iconic as the original scene from Star Wars, honestly, in a lot of ways. And Toy Story 2 is probably just as iconic as Star Wars Episode 5, the Empire Strikes Back as well, which of course is where that scene originates. Um, let's see, was there anything else I wanted to say about Toy Story 4? I don't believe so. I think that wraps it up. It is interesting. I will say this: that the first two got 100, and then the third one got 99. So once again, that shows you that uh, they, they got a lot of competition. Against themselves to back it up against. I mean, you wonder if this one will even score quite as high as those, and we'll see though. We'll see see where it scores and how it does. With that said, I think I'll go ahead and move on to number 11, which is Craw. So Craw is basically like Jaws with alligators, and I'm not a real big fan of horror movies though. So it's a little surprising that this one made the list, but it looks very good. It really has me interested, and it's the first movie Sam Raimi has made a little bit. He's actually the producer, not the director. I forget who the director actually is. If you know, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about that one. I think honestly, I think with that said, I think I'll just move on to number 10, which is Stuber, which looks hilarious. It's a very creative premise. I love Kumail Nanjiani, and I apologize if I mispronounced his name. He's a really funny actor, and it's interesting too because he plays the cab driver, in Deadpool. So he's essentially playing that role again. Uh, but with this, it's like he's a Uber driver that gets mixed up with a law of accident, and it just all gets crazy from there. And it's kind of your typical action comedy. Um, and I think that's really all I have to say about that one. So moving on to number. Oh wait, oh yeah. I also mention that of course I loved him in the Big Sick. That's my favorite movie that he was in. Okay, moving on. Number 9 we have Frozen 2. So the trailer for Frozen 2 looks great. It looks like this film is gonna completely top the first Frozen just based on that. And if it's anything like Wreck-It Ralph 2, it should be great. But but yeah, it's been a pretty good wait for it though, and that seems to have been the case with all of the recent Disney animated sequels though. But I'm glad it's finally coming out. Okay, coming in at number 8 we have The Joker. So The Joker is a movie that looks very strange. I do mean strange in a good way. Just looking at the trailer, it looks like it's going to sort of be kind of a melodramatic dramedy. And Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker this time around. They recasted him, which probably was wise because I don't think anybody was that crazy about Jared Leto's performance as the Joker in Suicide Squad. That said, I think it is still connected to other DCU films. It probably is. It appears to be, but the DC is going to do some recasting right now. The lobby, of course, I've heard about. And I don't know how many more recastings there are going to be, but this is the first major one. It looks like, but the Joker is a character that we don't really know a whole lot about in the comics or any of the TV shows or movies. So it'll be interesting to see him kind of try to explore his backstory more and just. What direction they go in. It looks like an interesting direction. It looks like, with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam were all great. So like if they can kind of just with this one just keep that charm going. I think this could be a really great direction for DC, and I want to see DC like continue to make good progress because like they are way behind. Marvel, and that's kind of to be expected because I mean, it takes DC a lot longer to get their films off the ground. Marvel's been making them longer. I want them to try to catch up a little bit, and I think this could actually be a really good film to do because it is something very new, unique, and different compared to the other DC films that we've seen so far. And also, like, I don't know if we even know the Joker's name in a lot of the other forms of media that we've seen him in, but let's not give him the name Arthur in this movie. Not to spoil too much from the trailer, of course. Okay, so number 7 we have Yesterday. Yesterday is probably one of the most unique and original films that I've come across recently For those of you that don't already know what it's about, it is about a struggling musician that wakes up in an alternate universe where the Beatles never existed, and he's the only one that still knows who the Beatles are. So he ends up playing Beatles songs and passing them off as being his own. And all of a sudden, he becomes a big success and a big star. Now, the biggest thing that automatically has me wanting to see this movie is the fact that I want to know how this happened, and I hope they explain it. I want to know how he wakes up in the alternate universe. Does he have an accident or something like that? And the other big thing is, does he end up going back to the other universe, or does this universe actually discover the Beatles, or what happens? Does he just end up staying in this universe? He just kind of keeps doing what he's doing, and wondering what's going to happen there is also a big thing that has me excited about this film. And it was actually directed by Danny Boyle. I think it's the first film he's made since Steve Jobs. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up part one of this video. Part two is coming up next. So with that said, feel free, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe. And good day, everybody.